You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. NAPSA justifies its tender process to cleaners. Government restrictions on the importation of onions ill-timed. UPND successfully holds its General Assembly. In international news, Guinea races to trace contacts after Ebola deaths. And in sports news, AHLY opens title defense against AL-MERREIKH in CAF Champions League. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
Hello, have you heard about NAPSA? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, NAPSA is here. Advertise on NAPSA between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
NAPSA, allowing your business to grow.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga. The Cross-Border Network Africa has bemoaned the decision by government to restrict the importation of onion and potatoes. In an interview with Camnet TV, Association Chairman General Bernard Sikunyongana says the decision is a misplaced priority done at a wrong time. Mr. Sikunyongana says farmers in the country have completely run out of onions, making it difficult for supermarkets and traders to source the commodity locally. The chairman says the Ministry of Agriculture should have first engaged the National Sanitary Committee to understand what produce are currently not in the country before taking such a step. Details in this report.
While the restrictions on the importation of potatoes and onions into the country has been welcomed by various stakeholders, including the Zambia National Farmers Union, questions have emerged as to whether the country currently has the stock to meet the national demand. An interview with the Cross-Border Network Africa has revealed that farmers in the country have completely run out of onion, while the local company currently supplying potatoes in the country cannot meet the national demand. Network Africa chairman, who is also Fruits and Vegetable Trader Association President Bernard Sikunyongana, says the restriction on the importation of onions and potatoes is a welcome move, even though it has been done at the wrong time.
And when we sit, we analyze, there's no more farmer with onion. Even now as I'm speaking, if there's one farmer who tell me, Mr. Sikunyongana, we have got onion, we can send 10 trucks today and buy the whole of that onion because there's no onion in the country. So I want to challenge whoever is saying there's onion in the country. Please, can you call me? Today we send 10 trucks to go and load all your onion. Whether you are in Kasama, in Imbala, we'll come and load that onion because there's nothing in the country.
Mr. Sikunyongana has since called on the Ministry of Agriculture to consider engaging stakeholders who will be able to advise government correctly over the matter.
And if today somebody wakes up to say, no, now we are not going to import onion, it is shocking. I want to appeal to the Minister of Agriculture now. Can you call for the similar meeting so that we can hear from those? If there are farmers who are telling you that we've got onion, then we'll be very glad to send 20 trucks and buy that onion. Because our imports every week, starting February, is 20 to 25 trucks. So if they are able to give us 100 trucks per month, that is well and good. But because that is the consumption of the country. As I'm speaking now, go to ShopRite, you will not find a pocket of onion. Pick and Pay, you can't find a pocket of onion. Because there's nothing in the country. No farmer can supply them. So to me, it's a good thing, but it has been done wrongly. Can the PS call again the National SPS Committee so that we can discuss and give them the correct situation? Because we are the importers.
The chairman is also calling on farmers in the country to engage in growing onions and potatoes, as this would earn them decent revenues.
To our farmers, I think it's important that they also start planning. Because if, for example, as a country we are importing 100 trucks every week, starting from February up to July, And so we are talking of, even if today there's 200 trucks in Choma, that will not be 2 weeks, then we'll have finished that onion. If today the country is able to increase the production of onion, that means the farmer now is assured of ready market. All we need is to do a training to a farmer to start producing the quality. Okay? I know in a country we do not have onion dryers at the moment, but there are traditional ways of drying the onion which can give us a good quality. So I want to appeal to the farmers. Can we start producing onion?
And a check in some supermarkets and marketplaces has truly shown that Zambia does not have the onion to meet the national demand. While Zambia is unable to meet its own demand for onions and potatoes in some season, it is a wake-up call for farmers to invest in the business in order to not only make money but create jobs for the local people. Prudence Chota for Camnet TV News.
The Agriculture Technical Professional Staff Union of Zambia has observed that crop diversification in the agriculture sector amid the COVID-19 pandemic is crucial to stay economic growth. Mr. Kamutuma has underscored the need to maximize the growth being witnessed in the agriculture sector towards achieving economic stability amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Union General Secretary Joe Kamutuma says this is also critical in promoting good nutrition among citizens, which he says is vital in strengthening the immune system to fight COVID-19. The union leader has since underscored the need to enhance productivity in the agriculture sector in order to better the local economy, which he says can only work with improved extension services through the recruitment of more camp officers.
Demanding from him that let him look at this economy as something that can turn around the economy of Zambia in a short, and medium term. Short, medium, and long term, focus. So in the short term, when you immediately plant whatever you harvest, you can sell, and returns come to the country. Part of which you cannot finish on the local market, you can export. So, Bwana Wanyangando, we are speaking to you as the representatives of the ministry, as in terms of workers. We don't want just to come to the negotiating table to demand for salary increments. We want to be part of the production. So we need staff in the field. And also what we've noted, Mr. Soko, is that this disease, the COVID-19, attacks the immune system. So, if it attacks the immune system, how do citizens need to protect themselves? Of course, we know that our medical personnel, the gallant men and women, are working tirelessly to make sure that we are safe. But there is one aspect of this pandemic, that is the nutrition part. And when you're talking about the nutrition part, you are now referring to agriculture. What are we saying? We need our extension people to teach the farmers a variety of crops, or indeed the things that they can grow in order to boost their immune system, to make themselves start having balanced diets. It's because we need to have enough extension officers to teach the farmers so that they can know that even when they eat kalembla, if they eat chihuahua, they eat the leaves for this and that, they combine with maybe millet and so on, they can boost their immune system. Now, that can only come about if we have the numbers in the field. Not only that, we want the issues of productivities to go up.
The Hope for Africa International has joined other stakeholders in opposing government's policy of the automatic progression for grade 7 pupils to grade 8. The 2020 grade 7 national progression rate was pegged at 100%, as was the case in 2019 due to the current automatic progression policy. This means that all 403,445 candidates who sat the 2020 grade 7 composite examinations will progress to grade 8. Organization Executive Director Chazingwa Daka says the automatic progression policy should be abolished immediately so as to avoid a future educational crisis where children are allowed to progress even when they do not know how to read or write. He says the policy be reversed as it has the potential to erode the quality of education in the country.
as much as Hope for Africa International is of the view that all children of the school-going age should be in school and obtain basic education. The organization wants to agree with some educational stakeholders who are against the automatic progression policy, as it is not only dangerous and suicidal action to be undertaken, but also it is retrogressive to the strides made so far under this sector. We therefore demand that the policy be abolished immediately so as to avoid future educational crises where children are allowed to progress even when they do not know how to read or write. This policy has the potential to erode the quality of education in Zambia. If not well handled, the policy has the potential to affect the quality of cadres that the sector would have at secondary level or high school. We are therefore of the opinion that the Ministry of Education concentrates on strengthening the repeat policy instead of actualizing the automatic progression policy, which is not healthy to the nation. The concern raised by most educational actors such as SANEC and NAKES over the automatic progression policy is genuine. Therefore, the government has to heed to this timely advice and abolish this policy.
The Disability Rights Watch has called on the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, to undertake more consultation involving persons living with disabilities if the aspiration to run an inclusive electoral process is to be actualized. Organization Programs Coordinator Bruce Choma says ECZ must make available a detailed budget and action plan for disability inclusion in the 2021 general elections. Mr. Choma says this is in order that persons with disabilities and their representative organizations know what the Commission has planned for them and engage more meaningfully with all stakeholders to ensure the action plan is funded and supported.
Disability Rights Watch would like to appeal to the Electoral Commission of Zambia to engage with persons with disabilities more meaningfully ahead of the 2021 August general elections so that we can achieve the aspiration of having a fully inclusive electoral process. We also, in the same vein, wish to demand that the ECZ must quickly issue a comprehensive budget and action plan for disability inclusion in this year's election so that people with disabilities and their organizations can begin to engage more effectively to mobilize resources and technical support towards the actualization of the aspirations of an inclusive electoral process in this year's election. We also wish to echo the concerns shared by other stakeholders that the platforms created by the ECZ to register voters and also verify their details have not been user-friendly to persons with disabilities. They've not been accessible to people with visual impairments in particular who have struggled to verify their details unless if they are assisted by other people. We feel that in going forward, the ECZ must begin to engage individual organizations of persons with disabilities representing various categories to ensure that their needs are taken on board when they are designing application softwares as well as online platforms like websites to ensure that they are fully accessible to persons with disabilities. We feel that it's important to affirm and promote the rights of persons with disabilities to participate in the electoral process because it is their right.
The opposition United Party for National Development has set its eyes on the 2021 general elections after successfully holding its General Assembly. UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema is happy that the party has managed to elect the National Management Committee members from all the 10 provinces to steer and run the party for the next 5 years. Mr. Hichilema has also commended the Independent Electoral Commission drawn from the civil society organization and led by Judith Mulenga for conducting the General Assembly. The opposition leader says unity of purpose is paramount and both in the party and the nation as a whole. More in this report.
Work has just started, says UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema, as the party eyes the 2021 general elections after successfully holding its General Assembly, which commenced on the 14th of February 2021. The intra-party election was spearheaded by civil society organizations led by Judith Mulenga. To the losers, move on and try next time. And congratulations to the winners, as the chairperson laid out the names of the new National Management Committee.
Capacity as chairperson of the Electoral Commission for the United Party for National Development, UPND, and returning officer for this elective General Assembly held on Sunday, 14th February 2021, and after verifying and satisfied with the results availed to me, I hereby declare the said Mr. Hakainde Hichilema
UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema is happy that the party has managed to elect its leaders across the 10 provinces to take the party forward. Mr. Hichilema has also commended the Independent Electoral Commission drawn from the civil society organizations. The opposition leader also called for unity of purpose in the party and across the country.
It has to see a school-going age child not in school. It has to see someone dying of coronavirus when they can be saved because there's no oxygen at the military hospital, at the levy, at UCHS. Oxygen, really? Yet people are driving VXs and riding in Gulfstream jets with purchase price, overpriced, plus maintenance cost, $330 million. Yeah. I'm not available for that Gulfstream. I'm not available for that plane. That plane must be translated into oxygen plants across the country. That plane must be translated and exchanged with bursaries for the poorest of the poor children in colleges. I said at the beginning, drugs with efficacy, not expired. We must be clear in our minds why we are seeking public office. I'm clear, and I know you should be clear. But, no. I feel ashamed when I travel around this country. In my passport, I present it, say, oh, Zambian, oh, you are from that country where people do things for themselves, not for the people. Let us wash that shame.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The Lusaka Magistrate Court has committed 3 juvenile pupils and an adult of Twin Palm Secondary School to the Lusaka High Court for allegedly murdering Ryan Piri. The quartet is facing 1 count of murder contrary to Section 200 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. When the quartet appeared before court Tuesday morning, Magistrate Sunge Chanda committed them to the Lusaka High Court for trial proceedings. The suspects are aged between 16 and 19 years, all believed to be pupils at Twin Palm Secondary School. Particulars of the offense in the matter allege that the quartet on the 4th of December 2020 in Lusaka jointly and whilst acting together killed Ryan Piri. Facts in the matter are that on the 4th of December 2020, Ryan Piri, 17, is alleged to have been attacked by a group of people believed to be grade 12 pupils from Twin Palm Secondary School, and golf sticks were allegedly used in the act, which happened at around 10 hours between Malata and Twin Palm area in Lusaka. He later died at the University Teaching Hospital. And still in court news, The Lusaka Magistrate Court has set the 26th of February 2021 as Judgment Day in a matter in which 5 residents of Chawama compound are accused of riotous behavior in relation to the gassing incidents as reported in some parts of Lusaka that took place in 2019. This is in a matter in which Fanizio Banda, a general worker of Chawama, Felix Mukuka, a bus driver of John Howard compound, Laston Zulu, a vendor of Chawama, Kennedy Ngembe of Jack compound, Matthews Nchinga, a bus conductor at John Howard, are charged with rioting after proclamation. When the accused appeared before Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale, the court was not ready to deliver judgment. Allegations are that the 5 on the 13th of February 2019 in Lusaka, jointly and whilst acting together with others unknown and being in a riotous assembly, took part in a riot and assembly after the expiration of a reasonable time from the making of the proclamation to disperse. More in this report.
Early last year, the use of chemicals to gas schools and homes in Lusaka and other parts of the country had put citizens on high alert. To ensure their safety, some citizens went to the extreme by beating to death anyone suspected to be involved in gassing. Tuesday morning, 4 people appeared before court for riotous behavior in relation to the gassing incidents reported in Lusaka. The 6 are Kennedy Chingambe, Latson Zulu, Matthews Chinga, Fanizo Banda, Felix Mukuka, and Marlon Mumba. Unfortunately, Mumba was discharged from the case after the court was informed that he passed on. When the case came up for judgment this morning, the court could not deliver as one of the accused persons, Felix Mukuka, was not before court. The court had also noticed that Mukuka had missed 3 court sessions but gave him the benefit of doubt before issuing a bench warrant. It is alleged that the accused on the 13th of February 2020 in Lusaka, jointly and while acting together with other persons unknown in a riotous assembly, took part in riots and assembly after the expiration of a reasonable time from the making of the proclamation to disperse. The accused had denied the allegations and are now waiting to hear the court's decision whether they will be set at liberty or be convicted. Last month, the court acquitted 18 people for the same offense. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Lusaka Magistrate Nsunge Chanda has sentenced a 26-year-old University of Zambia student to 12 months suspended sentence for stealing a Jameson Irish whiskey valued at 578 kwacha 99 ngwe. This was in a matter in which Brian Chansa, a development studies student, was charged with 1 count of theft contrary to Section 272 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. Facts were that Chansa, on the 24th of January 2021, while buying some groceries at Pick n Pay at Levy Moore, decided to open the bottle of whiskey and started consuming. However, Chansa paid for the other groceries and pretended as if he had the Jameson the time he entered the store. Chansa, who appeared before Magistrate Chanda, admitted committing the offense. Upon his admission, the court gave him a 12-month suspended sentence, effective today, and expressed sadness at the manner he conducted himself, being a student at a reputable institution. The Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale has warned National Democratic Congress leader Chishimba Kambwili to be sending his sureties whenever he fails to appear before court, rather than sending the other people to act as his sureties. This was after his private secretary, Fabian Mutale, informed the court that Kambwili was not going to appear for his trial due to an illness and his sureties were not present. In this matter, Kambwili is charged with defamation of the president contrary to Section 67 of the Laws of Zambia. More in this report.
Lusaka's Magistrate Court was on Tuesday morning forced to move the case of former Information Minister and Chief Government Spokesperson to another date after he failed to appear before the court. Yesterday, the 15th of February 2021, Chishimba Kambwili, the leader of National Democratic Congress Party, failed to appear before Magistrate Felix Kauma for opening of his defense due to illness. The court was informed by his private secretary, Fabian Mutali, that the accused was on the copper belt and unwell. Due to this reason, the court adjourned the case to Wednesday, the 17th of February 2021, in order for the accused to commence his defense in a case he has been dragged to court for defamation of the president. This morning, the NDC leader was again expected to appear before Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale for another defamation of the president case. Just like yesterday, his private secretary Mutale informed the court that the accused was unable to travel from the copper belt due to illness. He, however, today presented the court with a medical report, which yesterday was not presented before court as the accused failed to have access to it because there was no clinical officer to issue it. The former chief government spokesperson is facing a charge of defamation of the president before two different courts. One is a case where he questioned the president's relationship with the Lusaka businessman, a Mr. Valden Findlay, and the other one in which is alleged to have published insulting matter by words of mouth against President Edgar Lungu. The matter in which the accused was expected to appear before court this morning is contrary to Section 67 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. Allegations are that Kambuli between August 26 and 27, 2019, with intent to bring the name of the president into hatred, ridicule, or contempt, published an insulting matter by words of mouth. Kambuli has over the past 2 years appeared in two different courtrooms where he is facing different charges before 4 magistrates. The matter has since been adjourned to the 9th of March for continued trial. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
We take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have more interesting stories lined up for you.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our Zesco units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Dr. Bigron, musaibala komutienda okuni gift na land. Uchitenkubeti uibise mojo basayone. Oh! Mwina moshi, nakuletera njinga. Latest inaluvesi gear na mawaipa.
Gift code tidi ashidia njinga. Liam 19 pendef kondo. Transport, we got it.
Nanga phone for communication. Ipu sana chizungu. Yeah, you see what I mean?
It's a camera difficult.
It's communication. We got it. Inemo me! Powerful system ndimba X-Buzz.
Mufumile kukalale. Na mnaimo muli bakumushi. We got it. Yo Bigron, utola inoleta nchemfule mungani. Ngecho wachila pose na nishita chinshi. 1, 2, 3, both of you. Kabala ngempanga. Don't be stupid. We got it.
Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Msika, allowing your business to grow.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. The National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA, has justified its intentions to award a tender for the provision of cleaning, landscaping and pest control services to only 2 companies as opposed to more firms. The Cleaning Association of Zambia President Lawrence Makumbi says the cost of the tender was too much to give to only 2 companies when there were a lot of companies in the industry that could benefit from the tenders. But NAPSA head of corporate affairs Kefa Sinyangwe has told Camnet TV News in an exclusive interview that most of the companies did not meet the criteria. More in this report.
The National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA, has shed light on its intentions to award a tender worth over 4 million kwacha for the provision of cleaning, landscaping and pest control services to 2 companies. NAPSA intends to award a tender to 2 cleaning companies, namely Maxling Enterprise Limited and Prestige Hygiene Control Limited. Cleaning Association of Zambia President Lawrence Makumbi has told Camnet News that the cost of the tender was too much to give to only 2 companies when there are other companies in the industry that could benefit from the tenders. He says the authority should consider spreading wealth to more cleaning organizations.
Cake from all the NAPSA branches countrywide is that they give it, as they have done in the past 20 years, to more than 8 companies. We are supposed to benefit from NAPSA because we are the people that contribute to this institution. Why are they deciding to give 2 companies only? They are throwing people into destitution. This is not a year when you start acting in such a manner. You are now causing a lot of strife with the people on the ground. President Edgar Lungu has always been talking about sharing the national cake. Now you are throwing people into destitution because the 4 million kwacha is only being given to 2 companies. What is so special about these 2 cleaning companies? We appreciate the fact that they are Zambian cleaning companies. That is not a problem. But national cake must be shared with companies in Solwezi, companies on the Copper Belt, companies in Chipata, in Livingstone and here in Lusaka. Why give it to 2 companies?
But NAPSA head of corporate affairs Kefa Sinyangwe provided clarity on this matter. He says most of the companies did not meet the criteria.
Tender process, obviously our intention was to award as many companies as possible, and that was stated. But when we are constrained because companies have not met the evaluation criteria, again, as a company we need to move because we have to do certain things. We need to operate. The institution needs to continue operating. So we conducted this evaluation in a very transparent manner. Of course, we are aware of the appeals, and it's very important to note that what we have issued out is not an award of contract to those 2 stated companies, but an intention to award. That is a very important stage in the evaluation, in the tender process, because what it does is it allows other companies that had taken part in the tender process to make known their concerns if they have any, and so they would write what we call an appeal, and the evaluation committee will look at that appeal against the evaluation criteria, and if the grounds stand, then those issues will be taken on board and corrective action will be taken.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Auto Bridge Logistics Limited co-director Wilson Kalembe says government should consider revolutionizing the car industry in order to reduce on the imports of motor vehicles into the country. In an interview with Camnet TV News, Mr. Kalembe notes that the depreciation of the Zambian kwacha against other major currencies has made it difficult for people to buy cars on the international market. He says government should consider partnering working with car manufacturing companies from other countries to establish a car industry in Zambia that will see to it that the importation of motor vehicles is reduced. Mr. Kalembe says this will be an automatic means for government to earn the much-needed forex to keep the Zambian economy floating. He says Zambia was once a hub for car manufacturing and that the same can be done if investors can be wowed to invest in the country.
To take a leaf from, say, Kenya, where, even from Rwanda, where they have now revolutionized the car industry. Just like we used to have Fiat and Lincoln in Zambia, it's not too late. We can also rule these investors to come into our country, set up industry so that vehicles can be manufactured locally. And you see, the goodness is this: when you manufacture things locally, everyone, an ordinary person can afford to buy. There can be other arrangements like the banks coming in, the insurance coming in to offload the products to the clients, just like what is happening in South Africa. In South Africa, you can afford any vehicle that you want to buy. So long you are in the civil service, you can have that kind of arrangement whereby you can get even a 2020 model you enjoy. You know, government says, you know, deducting your money and slowly. These are products that are manufactured locally. And I think Zambia can also be in the same line. We can do it. If other countries can do it, we can do it. Now, suffice to say that most of these importation, the importation of motor vehicles has now reduced. For me, it has come down to as low as 50%. Because those days when you go to a border like Nakonde, you find the border heaped with a lot of vehicles that are imported into the country. Unlike what is happening today, if you go to Nakonde today, which is one of the busiest borders in Zambia, you might think that people are on holiday, you see, because very few people are now able to import vehicles into the country.
Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Minister Raphael Nakachinda has with immediate effect dissolved the Western Water and Sanitation Company Board. The Water Development Minister has dissolved the board following a number of irregularities noted by the National Water Supply and Sanitation Council, NWASCO. Mr. Nakachinda says inspections of the Western Water and Sanitation Company have revealed a collapse in the governance system and poor performance by management that have resulted in the deterioration in service delivery. He says among the findings of the inspections were non-adherence to procurement and stores procedures, weak financial controls and compromised internal audit functions. Others include the high board expenses mainly attributed to travel, board interference in management operations and poor adherence to company systems and procedures. Mr. Nakachinda has since directed the stakeholders to hold an annual general meeting to nominate new members to sit on the board.
Special regulatory supervision is instituted on utility companies that consistently fail to comply with directives issued by NWASCO. Notwithstanding the aforementioned measures, it has been noted that failure by both the board of directors and management to govern has been at the center of the deteriorating performance of the commercial utility company. Due to the foregoing, I hereby dissolve the Western Water and Sanitation Company Board and direct that the shareholders to hold an annual general meeting to nominate new members to sit on the board. Further, I wish to direct NWASCO to expedite their interventions in order to prevent any further deterioration in the performance of the utility company. Let me also take this opportunity to address the stories circulating on social media implicating the board chair and vice chairperson of Western Water and Sanitation Company of corruption, which first came to the attention of the ministry on the 12th of January 2021. I wish to put it on record that upon receipt of the letter, which is circulating, My ministry conducted comprehensive investigations on the allegations. The findings of the investigations have shown that the story circulating is false and the letter is not authentic.
The Water Resources Management Authority is impressed with the recent action taken by Kitwe City Council to rescind the offer letters given to people to build in the Mufuchani area following the authority's intervention in declaring the area as a water resources protected area. Wama Public Relations Officer Joshua Kapila says the action taken by KCC is as a result of the authority's engagement with the local authority in designating the area as a water resources protected area. Mr. Kapila says the multi-sectorial collaboration approach among stakeholders will not only preserve and protect the water resource area, but will ensure that water demand of the current and future generations are being met.
Wama wishes to upload the recent action taken by Kitwe City Council to rescind the offer letters given to people to build in the Mufuchani area following the authorities' intervention in declaring the area as a water protected area. The action taken by Kitwe City Council is as a result of Wama's engagement with the authority. Oh no, I'm shivering now.
Let's go.
Wama wishes to upload the recent action taken by Kitwe City Council to rescind the offer letters given to people to build in the Mufuchani area following the authorities' intervention in declaring the area as a water resource protected area. The action taken by Kitwe City Council has come as a result of Wama's engagement with the local authority in designating the very area as a water resources protected area, as the zone lies within the 150-hectare catchment area and further serves as a groundwater recharge area and a natural drainage for water flowing into the Mutapa stream, which is the main stream in the Mufuchani farming block, as well as the tributary to the Kafue River. Furthermore, the authority would like to call upon all the local authorities in the country to work in cooperation with Wama and emulate what Kitwe City Council has done by helping Wama and to work with them to preserve and protect Zambia's precious water resources from diminishing and being polluted. Such multi-sector cooperation approach among stakeholders will not only preserve and protect our precious water resources, but will make sure that we preserve the commodities for both current and future generations. This call of action is in line with the Republican President, Dr. Edgar Chandalubu's directive to Wama to protect all water bodies in the country during his State of the Nation address at the official opening of the 4th session of the 12th National Assembly on the 13th of September in 2019.
Zambia has received $500,000 United States dollars from the United States government to assist in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking during the COVID-19 update, Health Minister Dr. Jonas Chanda says the funds received will support the procurement of the COVID-19 equipment and the recruitment of temporary staff. Dr. Chanda says the contribution shows confidence from the United States towards the Zambian government's fight against the coronavirus. Dr. Chanda has also disclosed that Cabinet is yet to finalize the acquisition of a COVID-19 vaccine. Meanwhile, the minister says the country has not recorded any cholera cases since the onset of the rain season, which is a plus for the country. Dr. Chanda also gave the nation the current statistics on the COVID-19 in the last 24 hours.
For the last 24 hours is as follows. We recorded 575 new cases out of 5,249 tests conducted. That is an 11% positivity rate. The cases by province were reported from Lusaka 145, 99 Muchinga, 92 Copperbelt, 70 Northwestern, 61 Central, 60 Northern, 37 Southern, and 11 Western. The cumulative number of confirmed cases recorded to date now stands at 70,823. Regrettably, we recorded 15 new deaths from the following provinces: Eastern 4, Copperbelt 3, Northwestern 3, Luapula 2, Central 1, Lusaka 1, and Muchinga 1. The cumulative number of COVID-19 related deaths recorded to date now stands at 974, classified as 514 COVID deaths and 460 COVID-19 associated deaths. We have recorded an additional 347 recoveries from both home management and COVID-19 isolation facilities, bringing the cumulative number of recoveries to 63,609. That is a recovery rate of 90%. We currently have 6,240 active cases. Of these, 319 or 5% are admitted to our COVID-19 isolation facilities, with 230 or 72% on oxygen therapy and 38 in critical condition. The remaining 5,921 cases, or 95% of cases, are under community management.
We take our second set of commercials. Do stay with us as we still have international and sports news.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
You know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets. Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Super Cereal! We always start our day with nutritious Super Cereal. It's so easy to make. Just add hot water or milk. Fortified with essential vitamins, gives you energy and keeps you alert. Super Cereal is so good for you. Comes in 3 yummy flavors: original, banana, and strawberry, and tastes so good.
Easy Super Cereal is made from non-GMO maize and soya and is good for the whole family. Found in all leading stores. Quick and easy.
Tastes delicious. Full of goodness.
Makes you stronger.
Super Cereal.
Easy Super Cereal. Brought to you by Java Foods.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti for your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, Guinea's health minister is racing to trace people who might have come into contact with Ebola patients and distribute vaccines after confirming 7 infections and 4 deaths from the disease. An emergency team of health workers from the World Health Organization, Doctors Without Borders, and the government is traveling to the affected region after a nurse died of the virus in January. In other news, the United Nations has warned Myanmar's military leaders of severe consequences if they respond violently to protests against the military coup now in the 11th day. For the second night in a row, the army imposed a near-total internet blackout across the country. Police have injured protesters in the second biggest city of Mandalay. Al Jazeera has more.
Ebola is back. Fear of the virus is spreading to the capital.
I feel really surprised. Given the current situation in Guinea, we Guineans are struggling with the COVID-19 pandemic, and now with Ebola. It will be a real disaster.
The country's land borders are sealed. An emergency team made up of the World Health Organization, Doctors Without Borders, and government health workers were dispatched to the region of NAPSA after a nurse died of the virus in late January.
These epidemics have a disastrous impact, and we need an all-of-society approach to take into account the perceptions and the cultural sensitivities of the populations that we are serving.
Several people attending the infected nurse's funeral contracted the virus. Some have since died. With more than 200 close contacts, health authorities fear many more could be unknowingly carrying Ebola. The virus spreads easily through bodily fluids and triggers fever, vomiting, and diarrhea, eventually causing organ failure and death. People are nervous. The governor of NAPSA is calling for calm. In 2013, an outbreak detected in the same region spread to neighboring countries, infecting over 20,000 people. Half of them died from the virus. Blood samples of infected patients have been sent for testing at the Institut Pasteur in neighboring Senegal. Inside this building are researchers sequencing a sample of the virus. The idea here is to try to understand which strain of Ebola we're dealing with in the current outbreak in Guinea and whether the newly developed vaccine will successfully contain this new epidemic. There are currently 7,000 doses of the vaccine available globally. None of them are in West Africa. The vaccines need to be stored at minus 80 degrees Celsius and transported to Guinea's remote and tropical region, where power is in short supply. For health authorities, it is for now a race against time to trace and isolate contact cases before it's too late.
A show of force to break up a protest outside a state bank in the city of Mandalay. Around 1,000 people at a peaceful rally were dispersed with rubber bullets and slingshots. More than 10 truckloads of security forces and police were deployed to the scene, where demonstrators were calling for Myanmar's military leaders to reinstate their elected government. Extra troops were also sent to other parts of the country. In Myanmar's largest city, Yangon, soldiers in armored vehicles and tanks patrolled the streets. One group of the Civil Disobedience Movement, CDM for short, stood in front of the central bank in Yangon and continued with their calls for the military government to step down and the country's democratically elected leaders to be released.
We are protesting peacefully, without weapons and with no intention of violence, to call for CDM and fight for the freedom of government staff.
This as the military issued a statement on its Facebook page outlining the possible punishment for protesters, saying any act, spoken or written, that expresses or incites hatred of the government could lead to 20 years in prison. People gathered outside a court in the capital, Naypyidaw, hoping that the deposed civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi would be released on Monday, but that did not happen.
According to the remand which was set, today is the last day of the remand period. But from the discussions with the district justice, the remand period is now until the 17th, not today.
Suchi was one of the first to be detained in the early hours of the coup 2 weeks ago. She's been charged with illegally importing 6 walkie-talkie radios. According to a monitoring group, more than 400 people have now been detained since the February 1st coup. There's a vast range of people within that group, and that's of real concern for 23-year-old fortune teller Charlotte. A fellow Yangon fortune teller was arrested a few days ago after a video of him praying for the military to fail went viral.
Since they're dictators, they can make up whatever laws they like to oppress us. We astrologers are like birds in their hands. If they squeeze, we are dead. If they let us fly, we are free. This is the nature of dictatorship. And it's not just happening to us, it's everyone.
And that's probably why protesters are still coming out in strength. The ruling National League for Democracy (NLD) party won by a landslide in last November's election and was popular. Most see this move by the military as nullification of their vote and their voice. Divya Gopalan, Al Jazeera.
We now get into sports news. And in sports news, African Champions League winners AHLY start the defense of their crown at home to Sudanese side AL-MERREIKH on Tuesday. The Egyptian club will be looking to build on their morale-boosting third-place finish at the World Cup. Pisto Mosiani's team beat a Brazilian side Palmeiras to finish third at the tournament in Qatar. AHLY won their 9th Champions League title after coming from behind to beat arch rivals Zamalek and ending a 7-year wait for the Africa's most prestigious competition. The two teams have been drawn in Group A alongside Simba of Tanzania and Vita Club of Congo. Africa News has more.
African Champions League winners AHLY begin their title defense at home to Sudanese side AL-MERREIKH on Tuesday. The Egyptian club will be looking to build on their morale-boosting third-place finish at the Club World Cup. Pitso Mosmane's team beat Brazilian side Palmeiras to finish third at the tournament in Qatar. AHLY won their 9th Champions League title after coming from behind to beat arch-rival Zamalek and ending a 7-year wait for Africa's most prestigious competition. To reach the group stage, AHLY overcame Sonidep of Niger 5-0 on aggregate. Mr. Mosmani spoke to us when we were in Qatar for the Club World Cup that we have a very important match with AL-MERREIKH, and the captain spoke with us there. So from the day that we got our medals and third place, the coach spoke with us and the president of the club spoke with us, so that chapter closed and a new one is here. But the Sudanese champions are itching to upset the African champions. AL-MERREIKH overcame Enyimba of Nigeria 4-2 on aggregate to advance to the group stage. I have always dreamt of playing in front of AHLY's fans. But with coronavirus in Khartoum, the players were affected by the absence of the fans because the fans give you the motivation to defend the team. So it's clear that no fans makes a massive difference. But we will do our best, and great teams like this should not be affected by things like this. The two teams are drawn in Group A alongside Simba of Tanzania and Congo's Vita Club. Simba sits top of the group after their 1-0 win over Vita in Kinshasa last Friday.
That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. NAPSA justifies its tender process to cleaners. Government restrictions on the importation of onions ill-timed. UPND successfully holds its General Assembly. In international news, Guinea races to trace contacts after Ebola deaths. And in sports news, AHLY opens title defense against AL-MERREIKH in CAF Champions Champions League. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, which is coming from the book of Psalms 40 verse 1 to 2, and it reads, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he turned to me and heard my cry for help. He brought me up from a desolate pit, out of the muddy clay, and set my feet on a rock, making my steps secure. On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.